Hi.
Happy Monday afternoon.
Yes, here we go.
Awesome. So today we're going to talk about the 5 things you need to know that happened in real estate this week. And we're not going to take up much time, but good information. So with that said, I'm just going to dive right in. The biggest news this week that happened was NAR passed the ethics change or their ethics policies that change how agents interact with social media. And so basically what it says is that every 1.4 million of the 1.4 million realtors out there across the country now, instead of having your code of ethics based on when you're doing social media posts that are in regards to real estate, it is just blanket across the board. And it's in an effort to kind of squash any what's the word I'm looking for? Discrimination, any type of, whether it's discrimination or just angry or negative or political or anything, they just want to do away with any kind of negative, mean-spirited comments on social media. And this includes like in groups and any type of boards. So if you are a licensed real estate agent, licensed realtor, part of NAR, you are now subject to these rules, and people are turning people in, and there's going to be some consequences for some behavior. But that's one of the things that is interesting. Watch for that. Watch for more information coming down from NAR. The second item that I wanted to talk to was supply and demand. Oh, we've never talked about this, have we, Amber?
New news.
New news. But what's really interesting is, as we look at our appreciation, and we're pushing 20% this year, which is, a lot. But what people don't really realize that in Q3 of 2020, we actually had a 13% increase in new listings. In October alone, we had a 5% increase of new listings, but we didn't notice it because they sold just as fast as they hit the market. One thing that's shocking is the average days on market right now for Phoenix is 8 days. Now that includes the $10 million houses that take 4 years to sell, which right now they're not taking 4 years. But, when you start looking at those numbers, that's a really big deal because that includes all numbers. And one thing part of that too is we're looking at these appreciation rents. Single family rents are appreciating so fast, it's just shocking. Like they're actually, if you're going to get the median rental property right now or that same house and buy it, it's actually cheaper to own and pay mortgage payments than it is on rent. And rent has gone up something like 12% since May. 12% since May. So yeah, they're appreciating super fast. And then my last thing that I wanted to bring up was one of the things that it's just, paying attention to. One of the proposals, housing proposals created by President-elect Joe Biden was a $15,000 first-time homebuyer credit. And this is something to really think about and kind of looking at how that will affect our market. And, Chief Economist, NAR Chief Economist, Dr. Lawrence Yoon was saying, it's good news because it can go a long way in helping first-time home buyers get into the market, but it's only a small part of the solution. And the reason, and I'm going to just quote him because this is 100% what's going on. He goes, but that's not the full story. The full story is that stimulating the demand just by itself, I think, is insufficient, Dr. Yoon said. Right now, the housing market is facing a significant housing shortage. So if we add further stimulus to the demand right now without addressing supply, it will simply bump the prices up further. So that's one of the things that we really need is we need more inventory for something like that to really stimulate the market. So it's one of those things, contact your government officials, your local government officials, push it up the food chain, talk about what you think that would do. And, they want to hear your voice because we're sitting here talking about, we don't need to increase the demand. What we really need to increase is the supply. So as we're looking at things that are, coming, it's always good to have certain conversations. This was not meant to be political though. So anyway, with that being said, Amber, I know you've got some important information that, changes that just took place. So please share with us what's going on.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. That was amazing information as always. And I had spoke a couple weeks ago about some changes in regards to guidance from Fannie and Freddie on forbearance, and that changed again and for the better this time. So if you have a client, a home seller that is in forbearance and they have not started making payments again, they are not on any kind of payment plan, they didn't go into being deferred or anything like that, when they sell their house, they are considered current. They are going to consider that selling it means they have, you know, brought back any missed payments and that they are eligible for financing. So if they're going to sell before they buy, they're okay. If they're not going to sell before they buy, then we do have to have 3 payments made on the deferred or on the loan modification plan before they can qualify. So just something to keep in mind while you're meeting with your sellers and asking them that question, you know, are you in forbearance? Have you missed any payments? Make sure you're working that in to their strategy. All right.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
I know you've said that, so they need to have 3 consecutive payments, and you said timely. So what is timely? Is that like in the first week, 2 weeks? Like,
yeah. So, I mean, they could make 3 payments, you know, pretty much right away and get themselves to be considered caught up. So they can either catch up on the back payment, or they can put themselves into a loan modification plan and make 3 payments on that, and then they would be eligible to buy.
there we go.
So those are
Okay.
their 2 options: bring it current or go into a loan modification plan to come out of that forbearance. And then just in regards to interest rates, so lots of differing opinions on which way interest rates are headed, but one of the economists and analysts that I really respect and admire is expecting low rates for the foreseeable future, especially just because of everything that's going on. Like, he's like, it's really win-win. Like, the stock market's on a high right now because of all the news of the vaccinations and, you know, 90%, 94% effective. And so they're riding that wave completely. But if something does happen and they're not effective, or there's more shutdowns due to Corona, then the stock market could get hammered, and then we'll have the Fed come in with probably even more stimulus in regards to mortgage-backed securities and interest rates and everything. So everything right now is leading to believe that interest rates will stay in this extremely low range for quite a while. And so we're talking, you know, high 2s right now for someone with good credit on a home purchase. So keep, you know, beating the drum on the opportunity right now, and help people to see what it would look like to sell their home, create some inventory, and then, you know, go buy. And if you have any questions, let us know.
Awesome. Such good information, Amber. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I got to ask, who's the economist that you like, that you follow?
His name is Dan Rawich.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's just really good with interest rates and mortgage-backed security market.
Fantastic. It's always good to have good people, because you're right. The information, what we're seeing, is across the board.
Yeah.
So it's good to find good people. Awesome. Well, thanks, Amber, so much for your time.
Yes.
We'll talk again next week.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Sarah. Bye. Bye.